Today we're going to be diving into the ultimate showdown between speed and sophistication in the world of breakfast burritos. We're going to be cooking and comparing two breakfast burritos. Firstly, a quick fix and then an ultimate gourmet breakfast burrito. And then I'll let you decide which one you choose for your next breakfast. Okay, for this quick breakfast burrito, we've got 2 frozen hash browns. They're going to go onto a tray and then we're going to go into the oven for 10 minutes. Okay, next we're going to place some bacon into a pan on medium to low heat. And while that's cooking, we're going to crack our eggs. And now your bacon's done, I'm just going to transfer that over to a paper towel to drain any of that excess fat off. So I've just removed some of that bacon fat. I'm going to leave a little bit in there just for some extra flavour. We're going to soft scramble these eggs. Low heat, we just want to make sure we keep that turning. I don't think you could ever stuff up a frozen hash brown. There they are. It's the simple things, eh? Store-bought flour tortilla. We're going to go down with our hash brown and lay some of that bacon on. Doubled egg, bit of cracked pepper, and we can't forget some good old tomato ketchup. Tuck the sides in and then roll. And last but not least, toasting the sides just to get a bit of crunch. Okay, there we go, nice and toasted. Hey, that actually looks pretty good. Not bad for a 10-minute breakfast burrito. Smells alright. I mean, if you only had 10-15 minutes to make breakfast, this isn't a bad option. Let's give it a shot. Okay. Look, it does a job. Pretty bland flavours. I mean, the tomato ketchup helps, but look, as I said, if you didn't have much time, this isn't a bad option. Cheers. Now it's time to round this breakfast burrito up and create something a little more delicious. Let's get into it. Okay, to start with the flour tortillas, we're going to go in with our plain flour. Looking for about 450 grams here. Then we're going in with our lard. Looking for about 100 grams here. So now what you want to do is just break that lard up. And we're looking to coat each part of the flour with that lard. It'll be like a nice crumbly consistency. Spend a good minute or two, just really breaking up that fat, coating all of that flour. So now that's all broken up, we're going to pour some water in. So we've got 1 cup of water here and I've just microwaved that for 30 seconds. We want this to be warm, not hot, and then we're going to go in with 5 grams of kosher salt. Just give it a stir to dissolve the salt. So we're not going to add all that water in at once, probably going to add about 1/2 to 3/4 of the cup into that flour mix. Using your hands, we just want to break that up. So once that's started to come together, we're going to add the remaining water, combine that flour into the water, just until that comes together. So we'll just turn that onto the bench now. We're going to knead that for about 5 minutes. All come together now. We're going to place it onto some Glad wrap. I'm just going to wrap that up. I'm going to let that dough rest, just so it becomes a little bit easier to work with. So we're going to let that rest for about 30 minutes, and we can prepare some of the other ingredients. For our sauce, we're going to be making a roasted salsa. So we've got 4 tomatoes here. We're just going to cut them in half. We're going to cut 1/2 an onion. So we're going to put these all onto a tray with some jalapenos. They're going to go into the grill. It's going to go under the grill. We're going to get some nice char on the top of all those veggies. And then we'll throw some garlic on top as well. So these should take about 7 to 8 minutes on a medium to high heat. Just flip them over once they get some good color. Okay, I've got 2 peeled potatoes here. We're gonna grate them on our box grater. This will be for our potato rosti. Place those grated potatoes into some cold water. I'm gonna rinse off any of that starch. Let that rest for a bit. Picking up those grated potatoes out of the water. Give them a quick squeeze. I've laid some paper towels down here too. I'm just going to place them onto the paper towels, pick them up, just squeeze any of that remaining water out. So removing all that starch is just going to really help crisp up that potato rosti. So we've drained most of that water out. I'm going to pour it into a clean bowl. And then we're going to go in with some melted ghee, some clarified butter, decent pinch of salt, a bit of onion powder, and some garlic powder. And we're just going to toss that all through. All right, those vegetables are nice and charred now. We're going to place a couple of garlic cloves onto the tray and then drizzle a little bit of olive oil on there too. And then they're going to go back into the grill for a few more minutes. Okay, so they've all got some nice char now. We're going to blend them up. So they all go into a blender. I'm gonna push the garlic out of the skin. I'm gonna go in with a bunch of coriander, decent pinch of salt, some cracked pepper, and then juice from 1 lime. Okay, now we're gonna blend this all up. This salsa tastes delicious. You can really taste that little bit of char from the griller, along with all the other flavors from the coriander and jalapenos. This will keep in the fridge for about 4 to 6 days. So now that dough has rested, we're gonna portion them up to roll into balls. For the tortilla size, I'm looking for around 80 to 85 grams per portion. Then to create the ball, just cup your hand and roll until you form a nice small ball, then place onto a tray. We're gonna roll those balls out now into the tortillas. Just gonna flour that rolling pin. Bit of flour on the work surface or on the chopping board. Gonna push down lightly and then roll away. One little tip to get the shape of the tortilla: after you roll, rotate a quarter and repeat until it's formed your desired size. Once rolled out, heat up a pan. If you can, use a cast iron pan. Mine wasn't big enough for the size of these, so I opted for this hybrid pan. Place onto a high heat for 30 seconds. You'll start to see it bubble. Once ready, flip. Cook the other side for another 20 seconds or until you start to see the darkened spots. Then place into a clean tea towel before cooking the next one. To cook the Rosti, place into a cast iron pan or non-stick pan. Then add a little more ghee into the pan to help it get nice and crispy. Cook for around 3 minutes on a medium heat before flipping and cooking the other side. Okay, so we've got a cured chorizo here. Any sausage would be fine. So what I'm doing is just removing that outer casing off the chorizo and then just dicing it up into small little cubes. Okay, we're just gonna whisk 3 eggs. I'm just gonna do a soft scramble for these eggs. So we've got a pan on a medium to low heat. We're gonna just lightly fry off those chorizo pieces. So they've been frying for about a minute now. You can see that that fat has started to come off the sausages. I'm gonna leave that in the pan because we'll cook the egg in that fat. Okay, we're gonna scramble those eggs now. Now I've just left that heat off just so that pan can cool down a little bit, just so we're not overcooking those eggs from the start. I'm gonna turn that heat back on very low. I'm gonna keep those eggs scrambling in the pan on a very low heat. If you're finding that that pan's getting too hot, you can lift it off just to manage the heat in the pan. Turn that heat off now. The eggs are starting to come together. What I'm gonna do now is season with salt. And there's your eggs done. Okay, so let's put this all together. We've got our fresh tortilla here. We're gonna go down with half of that Rosti we cooked before, some of our egg, chorizo down, bit of cheese. You can use cheddar or Swiss, or even mozzarella. We get down with a bit of that salsa. Don't be afraid to load it up. I'm gonna tuck the sides in, roll it over, cut it down the middle. And there we have it, our gourmet burrito. Homemade tortilla topped with a flavor-packed roasted salsa. Oh, it's so good. Seriously. Wow. There's something about homemade tortillas. That salsa is fantastic. Goes so well with the chorizo and the egg. Great breakfast. Honestly, you've got to give this one a shot. This is just one of the most tastiest breakfast burritos you'll ever try. So there we have it. Which one would you choose? The quick fix, or would you go that extra mile to create the ultimate breakfast burrito creation? Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and I'll see you on the next video.